A couple of weeks ago, I did a video where I gave 10 names that I want to see John Cena face on his retirement tour, but in today's video, I'm going to do the complete opposite. Here are 10 opponents I don't want to see John Cena face on his retirement tour. Now, before we get into it, a quick disclaimer. All 10 of these names were submitted to us by followers of people who could potentially retire John Cena, so some of them seem quite obvious that they won't happen, but clearly some people think they will. In at number 10, AJ Styles, and off the bat we're starting with a controversial one. Now, their 2016 to 2017 feud I absolutely adored. They were having banger after banger, their promos were insanely good, and it was undoubtedly my favourite feud of 2016, and that is exactly why I don't want to see this again. AJ Styles already benefited by having a feud with John Cena. He doesn't need another one. And while, yeah, it would be nostalgic, it would be great, it wouldn't live up to their previous matches. Both are a little bit older now, it just would not be the same level. And this is kind of going to be a common theme throughout this video. I don't really want to see John Cena going back and facing a lot of old rivals. There's just no real need for it in my opinion. Him putting over younger stars, even if he beats them, just wrestling them, will really help elevate their stock and help the future of this business. Now, as I said in the top 10 video of names I wanted to see John Cena face, there are some exceptions such as Randy Orton. They have to run it back one more time, but as for AJ Styles, I just don't think it's necessary. And the exact same thing for number 9, which is The Miz. Listen, it's just not necessary, is it? They've had really fun feuds over the years. Of course, they had that WrestleMania match. They had the really fun feud, I think, in 2016 or maybe 2017 on SmackDown Live, where they had the mixed tag team match at WrestleMania. It must have been 27, maybe even 2018, but it was a really fun feud, that as well. But again, we've seen it. We don't need them to run it back. Yes, it would be nice and nostalgic, but The Miz doesn't need it. Cena doesn't need it. I just don't think it's worth a feud. John Cena's retirement tour is only 1 year, and yes, 1 year sounds like a really long time, but what is it, like 34 dates he's doing? And a lot of those will just be promos and stuff like that. He's realistically got like 10 PLEs, so I really don't want to waste any matches. In at number 8 is one which I unfortunately do think is going to happen, and that is Logan Paul. In fact, I think this could happen at WrestleMania, and I would absolutely hate that, but I do think that's the direction they're going. I mean, Logan Paul would be a new match, a fresh opponent, a fresh feud, and ultimately it would generate a lot of buzz online, so I do understand why they're doing it, but I just don't want to see John Cena's last WrestleMania match be against Logan Paul. Quite frankly, I don't really want to see a single match on this retirement tour be against Logan Paul. I don't think Logan Paul is the future of this business, and he can say all he wants about wanting to do it for life. I don't buy it. I think in a couple of years' time, Logan Paul's going to move on from WWE and move on to something else instead. And something I quickly should clarify, number 10 is the match which I don't want to see the least, and number 1 is the match which I don't want to see the most, right? So 8 is, I'd be okay with it, right? And I'd be okay with Miz and Styles as well. But I just don't particularly want to see it. But do you guys disagree with me? Let me know in the comments down below. In at number 7 is Edge, otherwise known as Adam Copeland or Cope in AEW, and it's in AEW is the reason that I don't want to see this match. I mean, Adam Copeland isn't just going to be able to leave AEW to return to WWE for one match against John Cena. That is not going to happen. Never say never in wrestling, but you can basically say never about this. And in a similar way to some of the other ones I've mentioned, like AJ Styles and The Miz, we have seen Edge versus Cena so many times, and this kind of is in the category of a Randy Orton Cena, where I wouldn't mind seeing it one more time, but he's in it, it's not going to happen. So I guess with this one, it's more that I just don't think it's going to happen, but also, people stop predicting it. It can't happen. In at number 6, Brock Lesnar. I mean, let's face it, Brock Lesnar, I don't know if he will ever return. I don't think many people even want him to return, and if he even does return, I still don't want to see this match. Their feud in 2012, I believe it was absolutely fantastic. It was an exceptional feud. It was Lesnar's real return feud to the company, but we don't need to see it again now. In a similar way that I want to see Cena put over younger stars, if Brock Lesnar does return, if everything against him is cleared and he does make a return to the company, I want to see him feud with younger stars. I want to see Brock Lesnar versus Gunther, Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi, Brock Lesnar versus Braun Breaker. I don't need to see Brock Lesnar fighting somebody like John Cena. In at number 5 is Roman Reigns, and the reason for this one is even more simple. Roman Reigns has been passed the torch by John Cena not just once, but twice now. We saw it against babyface Roman Reigns and heel Roman Reigns as well, and both feuds were extremely fun, both matches were great, but we don't need to see it again now. It is crazy that Roman Reigns has gotten to the point now in his career where he really does feel like a legend. He feels like not just the face of the company, but almost like they need to find a new face of the company because he's almost gone. And I'm sure he will actually be sticking around and being that, part-time John Cena role and Brock Lesnar role for quite some time. But it is crazy. It does just feel like the other year we were saying, will this guy actually be able to become the face of the company? And now we surpassed that. And in at number 4, a really controversial one. I do not want to see John Cena versus CM Punk. And the reason for this is their feud was left just so perfectly. Their feud was so perfect. And now both of them have aged quite a bit. It's not going to be the same. The match quality is going to be just so much worse. And it was so perfect before that I just wouldn't touch it. If you were going to do anything with the two, I'd have them team together or something like that. I would not have them face each other again. We've seen it. It did its job and it was so perfect. Why touch perfect? Why try and adjust that? Nostalgia might tell us that, it would be an absolute banger, but I just don't think it would be. Now, before we go any further, if you guys could like and subscribe, that would be very much appreciated. Here at Wrestling Republic, we create between 5 to 10 videos per week, and in addition to that, we have a live daily stream 7 days a week at 8 p.m. UK every day, 3 p.m. Eastern in America, and 12 p.m. Pacific in America. I hope to see you guys there. Thank you. In at number 3, Shawn Michaels. Now, this one should be absolutely blatantly obvious, right? Shawn Michaels is retired. He's been retired for ages, and he clearly has no interest in returning to the ring, nor should he. He should be enjoying retirement and booking NXT. Yet so many people said to us when we asked who should Cena's retirement opponent be, said Shawn Michaels. I don't understand why. I mean, sure, they were fantastic rivals. Who can forget their 60-minute classic? But in this day and age, no way. And in at number 2, another name which we kept getting was Triple H. I mean, the man has a pacemaker. Come on now. I mean, I really do think sometimes wrestling fans are like booking stuff in universe mode. It's like the Punk stuff too. I mean, the Triple H thing's a whole other situation. But you forget that, wrestlers do get older. Their performance does decrease. And in the case of Triple H, well, he just isn't going to be able to even get cleared. And in at number 1, I mean, this is the most dramatic of them all, but a name which so many people submitted to us. Ric Flair. I mean, this is honestly laughable. I understand why. People want to see 16 time versus 16 time to become a 17 time. But there are so many issues with it. Firstly, Ric Flair also has a pacemaker. Secondly, I don't know if you guys watched Ric Flair's retirement match, but that was quite a few years ago now, and that was an absolute disaster if you watched it. I honestly thought he was going to die. I was scared for him watching it. I think Andrade saved his life like 10 times in the match, quite honestly. And John Cena now is at an age where he can still go in the ring, but he can't carry opponents the same way he used to. So it would just be an absolute disaster. And I don't even understand why fans are submitting this. Maybe it's like a joke, but the amount of people who did, I don't even think it's a joke. I think it's dead serious, and I can't get my head around it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace!